Chris Froome handed Geraint Thomas the keys to Paris as the Tour de France leader strengthened his grip on pole position. After a brutal stage when the peloton started in a Formula One-style grid, four-times champion Froome settled any lingering doubts about the leadership pecking order at Team Sky by admitting Thomas deserves to win Le Tour. This was the day Thomas the flank engine became the chief locomotive. He finished third behind Nairo Quintana and Dan Martin at 7,267 feet in the Pyrenees, the highest point of this year's race, but extended his overall lead to 1 minute 59 seconds as Froome slipped back to third in the general classification. Now Thomas only has to protect his advantage in today's benign stage, a one-day tour of monster climbs and Saturday's time trial for cycling's Prince of Wales to be crowned king of the road. Froome, who shipped almost a minute to his fellow Brit, admitted, "It was a tough day, an intense day, but I've no regrets. G has ridden such an amazing race, he deserves to be in the yellow jersey, and fingers crossed, he holds it now until Paris. I'm just happy to be in the position I'm in. I've won the last 3 Grand Tours I've done and it was certainly a tough build-up for me, but I'll still fight for the podium and obviously I want to see Geraint up there in yellow. He looks pretty strong and I imagine he'll be able to finish it off." It wasn't Froome's favorite day in France. Riding back down the Col du Portet to the Team Sky bus with his minder, he was knocked off his bike by a policeman who mistook them for fans. He wasn't hurt, and at least the gendarme wasn't armed with pepper spray like the officers who struggled to quell a farmer's protest on Tuesday's run out of Carcassonne. Froome is understood to be satisfied it was a misunderstanding. And Thomas made neither mention nor complaint about the fan who leaned over the barriers near the finish and appeared to try and grab his arm. But he recognized the huge significance of the moment when, 3 miles from the summit, Froome told him over the team radio he wasn't feeling super, and effectively handed him the baton to go for glory. He said, "That's the measure of the man, it shows we are honest and open with each other. But in a way, it gave me confidence. Obviously I didn't want him to have a bad day. But if Froome was suffering, everyone else was suffering with him, but I was feeling strong and I'm in a good position now." Thomas enjoyed his Lewis Hamilton moment on pole, even if the F1 gimmick it didn't make a jot of difference to the outcome. He said, "It certainly felt a bit different, and it was nice for morale, standing there in that jersey, but as soon as you start getting carried away, that's when it starts going downhill. Gentlemen, fire up your power meters, put the champagne on ice and clear your throats for Land of My Fathers to reverberate around the Champs-Élysées." Team Sky principal Sir Dave Brailsford was ambivalent about the grid stunt, saying, "It looked good on TV, but one thing I didn't particularly like was putting all the sprinters at the back of the field. I'm not sure that's entirely fair. But the best guys were still left at the head of the race and the shortness of the stage didn't change the nature of the race. The cream still rose to the top." Brailsford also offered an apology of sorts for his outburst on Monday, when he claimed throwing missiles and spitting at Team Sky riders was a French cultural thing. He said, "I was pretty agitated about the attention we were getting. Of course I don't think spitting is just a French thing, but my point was we only get that kind of treatment on the Tour de France.